why are we here, Simone?
Oh, well, let me tell you why we're here.
You have no idea why we're here.
George and I hit 100,000 subscribers. Even more now. A little bit even more than that now.
We're doing another Q&A to celebrate the milestone. And I think maybe like a week and a half ago, we made some posts on Patreon and on YouTube community side asking you guys to give us whatever questions you want to ask. So we're going to do some Q&A.
Yeah.
With drinks.
Yeah. Because is there any other kind of Q&A?
Yeah, besides drunk. So I upped the stake a little bit this time. Aside from this absurdly large glass of whiskey, I'm also a little bit stoned.
George.
Ever thought about doing a podcast?
No.
I have. I just don't know why anyone would care.
Yeah, I'd do a podcast. You guys got a podcast for me to do? I'll do a podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why anybody would care. I mean, like, I'll go on a podcast
George?
if it's like a fun one. I would love to be on the morning stream, but yeah.
What would your if you started, if you're like, tomorrow is the first day of my podcast, oh shit, what would your podcast be about?
What would my podcast be about? The variation of pocket lint. The secret world of pocket lint. That's what it would be called.
The secret world of pocket lint.
Yeah. Fascinating subject.
George, if you had no limits, financial or otherwise, what's one thing you'd like to accomplish in your lifetime?
Oh, go to space.
Boo.
I want to go to space.
I hate space.
I want to go as far as possible and then die there.
Jeepers. Okay, no limits, financial or otherwise. I would build the biggest, comfiest, like, house for animals. It would be an animal sanctuary, just the best possible animal sanctuary of all time. That's what I would do.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be great?
Admirable. Yeah, that's great. Admirable. Yeah. Okay, next one. We already answered this in the last video.
Yeah,
what gave us the idea for the last show? Watch the movie freaking giving you. No. Okay. I will quickly re-answer. I mean, like, it was pandemic. We were at home.
Yep.
All the time. We used to watch things together, especially when new TV shows come out.
Yep.
We binge watch like Game of Thrones.
That was our thing.
WandaVision.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, well that's something that I don't think we actually touched on in the last Q&A, is that like I had this epiphany that like you were my like watching stuff person. Like we'd get like,
yeah, we did a lot of TV shows and stuff like
and like
well, it was mostly Game of Thrones and WandaVision, really, actually, if I think about it.
But also like our annual like Lord of the Rings extended edition parties where we just get a bunch of snacks and just hunker down for 1,000,000 hours. Like it's just, I don't know. So it's really nice.
Remember that one time we tried to do all 3 Lord of the Rings extended and then the Hobbits Hobbit? And it was 24 hours.
Oh my god.
And we skipped the second Hobbit movie because it was bad.
Yeah, we did.
And skipped a lot of the third one because it was
we did.
Badder. Oh my god. Okay, those are not good. Okay, next one. Who gets the 100,000 subscriber plaque? Do each of you get one?
Okay, so this is what is happening. It's a bit tricky. So what they're going to do is they're going to rent out an arena, and it's going to have this little kiddie pool filled with mud, and they're going to dangle the one plaque. It's just one plaque. And then we're going to have to fight it out, and whoever wins the battle gets to keep the plaque.
I just want to point out that it was not me who came up with the idea of having a mud fight. This perversion came from Simone.
I literally just thought of it. You sit me down, first thing that comes to mind, mud fight. No, we are each going to get a plaque, maybe. It's still very up in the air, we don't know.
Exactly, yeah. YouTube actually has to review the channel to see if we're eligible for a bunch of different things. It's not just hitting that number. There's a lot of other things to go into it.
I swear too much.
That's what we believe, actually.
Yeah.
But if we pass that check, we get one for free, and then we can order additional ones at a cost. So we'll each get one. Yeah.
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 Let's hope we pass that eligibility test.
Hope for us that we get
Thoughts
one.
and prayers.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Sure, why not? Okay, you do the next one.
List of top crushes from the movies you've watched, whether it's celebrities or characters.
Ooh.
Go on.
I mean, okay. Galadriel's too easy, so I don't want to count that because that's like my default go-to. But let's exclude Lord of the Rings because that's too easy.
It is too easy.
Yeah.
Strider.
I think next to that would probably be Emily Blunt doing that push-up in Edge of Tomorrow. Yeah.
Wait, so is it the Full Metal Bitch, or is it literally Emily, like that moment of Emily Blunt actually like doing
her whole character is fantastic, but just that moment really sold it to me.
Oh yeah, it's good stuff.
And I will fight John Krasinski.
Sure.
Yeah. I'll lose, but I'll fight him.
Will it be in mud?
Sure. For sales tickets.
Okay, so that's one. Do you have any others?
Ooh, okay, you tell the next one, and then I'll think of another one.
The first thing that comes to mind is emo Batman.
Emo Batman.
Yeah, I have a huge crush on emo Batman.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Thanks.
And surprising, actually. I didn't expect that, to be honest.
Oh.
Okay, well, then my next one actually is Catherine Zeta-Jones in Mask of Zorro.
Same.
I mean, like...
I think... I'm so jealous of you, I can't make that sound.
Have you ever done a reaction to something that made you laugh so hard you had to stop whatever you were watching?
No, we're professionals.
No, I don't think I've ever stopped.
We keep going. We just power through.
We don't like to pause our videos, actually.
No.
We don't like the interruption. The only time we do it is like if a doorbell rings or somebody calls us and it's like an important thing. Yeah. Or deliveries, things we can't stop.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we don't pause because we don't want to ruin the Patreon version, the full length reaction.
Yeah.
And if there's a cut, it's like really hard to sync back in for us to do when it's being edited.
So we never stop reacting.
Yeah, never stop. I haven't slept for 74 days.
Oh shit. Okay, next question. Of all the movies in all the gin joints, of all the movies you've watched for the channel so far, which has been your favorite and why?
Okay, watch the year in review video that's coming in a few days.
Yeah.
It will answer that.
It will. Like, how Canadian are you guys?
What does that actually mean?
Well...
How Canadian? I have a Canadian passport.
That means...
I have citizenship.
Yay!
That means I'm Canadian.
Yeah, so...
Because there's not really an ethnic Canadian where it's an immigrant country.
Yeah, if you're a Canadian resident, like if you're
legally a citizen of Canada,
yeah,
you're
exactly.
Canadian.
Yeah. So Hundo P.
Or we're not, because we're not the Aboriginals, the First Nation.
George.
Mm-hmm.
This person would like to know if you, George, has ever cried during movies, and if so, what movie made you cry?
I have.
What movie made you cry?
The most would be Turning Red.
Yeah.
Because that movie is really personal for me. Not because of when I first had my period, but because of the whole immigration thing and the family thing and the being Canadian, but also Chinese, but also like generational diverging based on upbringing, yada yada yada. So yeah, that one hit me pretty hard. I think Forrest Gump I did as well.
That's a doozy. Yeah.
Should I share something personal? I think I'll share something personal. Something personal I'm going to share is my mother passed away like 11 years ago now. So anytime in a movie when mothers die, it tends to get me pretty hard. So Forrest Gump, when his mother died, is yeah.
Yep.
That's when I cried. That's it. Okay.
Makes the
Keep it light.
Let's everyone who's watching this who is hopefully drinking along with us, because what other way would you watch YouTube? Cheers, everybody.
Simone, next question is for you.
Hello.
This person says, I know you're writing. Are you freelancing or aiming towards certain genre? Do you have anything for purchase?
Ooh. Well, how do you know I'm writing? Are you watching me? Sorry. I'll be less weird. Hold on. Okay. No genre. Ideas are percolating. There has been no writing as of late. Okay, a lovely patron has asked us if can we fix you some sandwiches? And the answer
What's with you and fucking
is
sandwiches?
fuck off. Who's taller?
Oh, Simone. By like a couple inches, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's taller.
I'm a big lady.
Or I'm a tiny. No.
No.
Who has the best singular pair of socks?
I feel like this question is like, it's like, do you want to see our feet?
I mean, I would imagine you do, because all my socks are just like standard black from Amazon.
All my socks are standard black from the Bay.
Who can hold their breath the longest? You want to test this out?
Okay, this is going to be tricky. This is going to be really tricky. And it's also going to be so boring for the video if anyone
That's
just like
fine.
cuts to this.
That's fine. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. After I say 3, we inhale and then hold. Ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
No, I can't do it anymore.
I don't know how long that was. We probably should have done this at the end.
Who the fuck did that? What is the most common comment you get in your videos? In our videos? Why are you laughing?
I think the most common comment I've read is probably why did you cut out the best line? And I always go, well, best according to who?
Yeah, I guess
Right?
so. Yeah, it's hard to it's really difficult to know what's like, especially if we're watching something like the first thing that comes to mind is like the Goonies. Like that is like a classic for a generation for, you know. But when we're watching it for the first time, we don't have the same like nostalgia that you have to it, so like we don't know what to like.
Yeah, what is
It's
which
really
one is special to you?
difficult
Yeah,
to pick.
yeah. Some are obvious, like when I was editing 300, I'm not gonna cut out "This is Sparta." Like I know that's a meme line.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, but like yeah, some movies are just like it's good kind of across the board. There isn't specific things, so the best line is subjective. Okay.
Before starting this channel, what was your favorite type of movie, and has it changed since?
My favorite type of movie is fantasy based on Tolkien creation, and it has not changed. It is still my favorite. I mean, okay, so before we started doing this, like I watched a lot of like Hong Kong cinema, and, Chinese movies, Japanese movies, stuff like that. Has it changed? I think so. I think so. I'm discovering a lot of American things.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
about
I
you?
think that like this because of this channel I've watched movies that I would have never watched otherwise. But as far as my favorite
Anything
type,
that's not Gilmore Girls, yeah.
I have this little plaque up over there that's like it's been 31 days since Gilmore Girls, and I'm like trying so hard not to watch it, you guys. I'm trying
Yeah.
so hard. What are your top 3 bands / musicians?
Try that again. What happened there?
Okay, what are your top 3 bands / musicians? That's hard to say. George, have you?
Oh, I'm first. Okay. Epica, to the surprise of nobody.
Nobody at all.
Arch Enemy and Children of Bodom.
Okay.
You may notice a theme. All right, what about
gosh.
you?
Oh my God. Okay. So top 3 would be Joni Mitchell, Brandy Carlisle, and Death Cab. But not.
Okay, I don't know any of them.
What?
I've heard of the first one. I've heard of her name. I have no idea who she is. Or like what her music is, rather. Yeah, I do not know the other two. Are they good?
Are they good? That's what you sound like, George.
Oh, I should look into them. Sure. Yeah.
Or Crash Test Dummies. Or Neil Young.
All right, this one's long.
Okay.
This one's really long.
Do you want me to
You want to do
read
it? Or
it?
you want me to do
I'll read it.
it? Sure, go for it.
While you were spelunking in a previously undiscovered cave, as you do, you come into some old ruins and discover an ancient ring and 3 diamonds set in it, the third of which is faintly glowing. You discover this lesser ring of wishing, with 1 wish left. As a lesser ring, if you wish for too much, the wish will be wasted and you will get nothing. No
Okay.
records remain of what counts as too much, according to the ring. Do you make a wish? If so, what do you wish for? If not, do you sell it? Or have any other idea what to do with the ring? Ooh.
If I make a wish that's too big, nothing happens, so there's nothing to lose to just try it.
Yep.
Do I sell it in the real world? Probably not. I don't think anybody would actually buy it
Who would believe
because
you?
it sounds like, yeah, exactly. It sounds too fake. So the only option really is to just make a wish. So what I would wish for is the perfect Cubano sandwich. What would you wish for?
Ooh, I do not make a wish. I hold on to the ring, and then if in like a moment of like, something's going down, I'm gonna save it. I'll save it for like something.
But what if you accidentally made a wish though?
Then it's over.
What if you you just forgot and you're like, oh, kind of wish I have a Diet Coke, and that was it.
Then I get a Diet Coke. Okay, next question. Have you ever reacted to a movie and then decided against uploading it?
Oh,
That's never
I don't
happened
think
to us.
So no, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think we've ever. There's been movies that we reacted that we were fearful of uploading it,
That's true.
mostly of like breaching YouTube guidelines or like.
I mean, we
Maybe.
did, this will be news to you guys. We did American History X.
That's been taken down.
That's what I
yeah.
mean. That's like,
Yeah,
it's-
yeah.
so, but we were scared of like uploading that because of the content, right? Like it's,
Yeah, yeah.
but we
And
did it, and then it got taken
They didn't
down.
tell us why it was taken down. They
No.
just said it was taken down, and we're like, is it all the symbols? Is it all the language?
not sure.
I'm pretty sure it's because I kept in. What's his face getting shot at the end? I can't remember his name.
Spoilers.
Yes, what's his face get shot?
What's his face? But yeah, no, I
That's
don't think
literally
we've
the
ever recorded something and then we didn't we've never not uploaded. What is your favorite CKY album / song, and how did you discover them?
Oh, My favorite CKY album and song. It's actually pretty easy, like a pretty cliche answer. It's 96 Quite Bitter Being, and it would be the album Infiltrate Destroy. I discovered them after watching Jackass 2, and then I started backtracking of like, oh, Jackass 1, oh, CKY, oh, all of those things.
I was wondering, like, because I don't know who CKY is, but the only connection that I had to that was hearing someone talk about it in Jackass. What tattoo, if any, do you regret the most?
I have one that's been covered up. I don't regret it because it's pretty funny, but I covered it up because people keep mistaking it for something else. Oh. I'm showing it right now to camera. So it's on the back of my left forearm right here. I got this very drunk when I was in France, and I try to get a new tattoo every new place I go to. And when I was in France, the only thing I could think of while drunk to get was an oyster, because I really love the oyster in Masai. The problem is I decided to get a realistic looking oyster, and everyone kept asking me, why do I have a vagina on my forearm? So it has since been kind of covered up. That's the only one that I'm like, unfortunate.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah, so the next question is, what are your favorite thumbnails so far? And stay tuned to our Cinebinge,
year in review.
A year in the life. Meh.
That's the title, A Year in the Life of Meh.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. About recording. Do you have a procedure to get you in the mood? Yeah, I run the bath, light some candles, turn on some Billy Ocean, bring out my Hitachi. Okay. Do you have a procedure?
Hold on. What is this magic wand? Just kidding. I think I know.
Anyways, okay. So do you have a procedure to get you in the mood?
For watching movies, no. We just like hunker down and press play.
Yeah.
For stuff like this, when we
start recording,
we drink.
Yeah, we drink. Yeah. When we start recording, it's actually like 9 a.m. for Simone and noon for me.
Yeah.
So I guess I just had lunch. That's it.
And I just woke up.
Exactly. That's all there is in.
That's why in like a lot of the videos you can see me like pounding Red Bull or Monster drinks. Tattoo question again.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
George, please tell us about your favorite tattoos and the ones most important to you.
Okay. I'm gonna show you guys my favorite one. Not on my body because it's on my back and it's healing, so it's kind of gross looking. But I'll take the picture that's off the shelf behind me. One second. It is on my back.
So awesome.
And it is Sauron. With his ring on, and it's done in a pretty unique style by an artist in Montreal. I'll put her Instagram on the screen.
Yes.
So you guys can go check it out, her style. I want to promote her. She's really great.
That's awesome.
It's still being worked on. I have like 1 or 2 more sessions to get like the bottom part done, but this is now my favorite tattoo. That's it. What was the other part of the question? Your favorite, most important to me? It's probably Bob. Okay, let me tell the story of Bob, the tattoo. So on my forearm, you can see a little bridge, okay? So, like I said, every time I go to a new place, I try to get a tattoo that commemorates going to that new place. And this is like, I want to say 6-7 years ago now. I went to Nelson, BC, which is like the hometown of pretty much all my friends. And I went there. And after a couple of days, I was like, I need to get something here. What's famous here? And Chris, some of you might know who he is, was like, I don't know, weed. And I went, I'm not getting a weed tattoo. That sucks. And then I think one of our other friends, I think it might have been Sean or somebody like that, who said, there's Bob. And I went, who's Bob? And he goes, well, Bob is the big orange bridge.
Yes.
It is orange. It is a bridge. Yeah. It's not that big.
It's small. It's a small bridge.
It's a small town bridge. It's like, but it's called Bob.
If you were to shrink the Golden Gate Bridge,
yeah,
it would be sort of like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it. That's probably my favorite tattoo because it's just kind of funny and nice.
I love that. That's so great.
That's it.
Cool. And Simone, do you also have some? Yeah.
Go on. Your favorite, your most important?
Oh gosh, okay. I think favorite. My most important tattoo, I think, it's on the back of my neck, and it's just in like cursive. It says, "This too shall pass," and I got it because it's something my mom always said, and I think it's really awesome. And there's this really, I love this so much. I was walking home from work one day, and I guess I had my hair up, so the back of my neck was visible, and some stranger on the street ran up to me and was like, like, your tattoo, I just read it and I just really needed to hear that today. And I was just like, oh man, like that's just so cool. I don't know.
He was just dying for a poo, that's why.
This too shall pass. I've been really constipated and I just needed to hear that today. Yes. For George. What equipment do you use for filming?
Okay, so prior to about a week ago, I have been using the C922. I can't remember the manufacturer anymore. Just like a streaming webcam. Right now, I'm using the A7 Mark III Sony camera. Using a Camlink 4K plug into computer. Ooh. That's it. I think Simone's also upgrading to this.
Yep.
Soon.
It's any day now.
That's what we're both using to record. For Mike,
I'm just using a webcam.
Yeah, right now. Yeah, but you're upgrading it soon.
Yep.
For microphone, I'm using an Audio Technica AT87-5R made in Japan.
Not that you asked me, but I'm going to answer it anyway.
Sure.
I'm using a Rode A1 for a microphone. I bought this before we started the channel to do voiceover, and and it took me a long time to pay it off.
For Simone, what's your honest opinion on your experience acting in the movie Android Night Punch? I can't believe some of you guys found this.
It's so embarrassing. Okay. Listen, the thing you guys need to know about Android Night Punch is that it's the best fucking movie. Okay, so some friends, we sat down one weekend. It was I think Easter long weekend years ago, and we were like, let's try and make a feature film. So we didn't have an idea. So from like conception to like basically like full on like rap, this movie was shot in 3 days. From written and shot in 3 days. Yeah,
and that's why it is the way it is.
So the thing is that we're a bunch of kids. Come on, we're a bunch of friends making a movie, and it was hilarious and amazing. And there's so many moments in that film that I absolutely love. Yeah, like it's maybe one of my favorite movie openings of all time. Like it's just, and I think that this again, zero budget.
Yeah,
zero budget from conception to rap, zero budget in 3 days.
Yeah, Android Night Punch.
Come on.
Yeah.
I still think that like the story that Jason and Chris wrote is really cool. And like I think that if we had like a legitimate budget and lots of time and like did like a rewrite and stuff, I would fully do that movie again.
Yeah.
100%.
No, that's great. That's great.
The thing is that because I'm human and I am, like there's also like I couldn't act, and like so there's shit like that I'm pretty embarrassed about. But as a whole, I think the experience was amazing because it was just like we were just having so much fun.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. I think I like it. I think it's fun.
I got to hold a pig heart in my hand. That was a real pig heart from the grocery store. There is nothing more important than pizza. So, what is the best style of pizza and what are the best toppings? We're really getting to the dark and gritty questions here.
I like the thin New York style, but best topping for me is chorizo.
Spicy.
I love a bit of chorizo sausage on a pizza.
Sorry.
What about you?
Oh, listen. Okay, so I'm a basic bitch. I like cheese, a pizza with pesto.
Yeah.
Pesto and some delicious cheeses.
Have you ever done a show without pants on most of the time in the summer? You guys can't see me waist down anyway, so I'm just wearing shorts and a t-shirt.
I've always worn pants, but in a future episode, I'm gonna not wear pants in one episode and see what happens.
What's the one movie that you guys are both interested in watching but are scared to actually react to?
That's a good question.
I immediately know. Japanese animated movies. There's a few that I really want to show Simone on camera, like Grave of the Fireflies, like Akira, those kind of movies that I really loved when I was a kid. But we can't really do it because the studios that made those movies famously do strike, like take down notices on the channels that do it for copyright.
Yeah.
And some reactors have lost their channel because of it.
Don't want to risk it. I do not want to risk that at all. Yeah.
Yeah, so we can't. I really want to, but we can't. So have you guys ever filmed a reaction to a movie that you hated it so much that you either turned it off or finished it and never uploaded it? If so, which movies?
No.
Not yet.
I wonder. Oh my God. Can you imagine?
I didn't really enjoy episode 1. Look, I've said it on Cinecringe, so it's out there now.
No, that's
I didn't really like Phantom Menace. I was pretty bored, but we still uploaded it.
Yeah.
I had a warning at the front. I said it's just my opinion. Don't take it personally.
Yeah.
It's a slightly tricky thing because if you think about it, anybody who's gonna search for the reaction of a movie is likely the fans of that movie.
Yep.
So if we upload a video where we didn't like it, we're gonna get some hate. But I don't care.
Also, I think, I think that's why, one of the reasons why we're so good at, together is because if you don't like something, odds are I might like it, or, vice versa. So, it's, again, safety in numbers. Oh. What is that?
That, viewers, if you hear that, is the siren of the trucks, that the city snow clearing trucks warning everybody to move their car because they're about to clear the street. Jeez. And this might be a problem. Who were your favorite characters to play in D&D?
Ooh. Oh my god. I have so
class?
many. Yeah. There's literally so many. Okay, I will always have a soft spot for Rangers because it's what I played in high school. But since then I was when I got back into it, I wanted to try new things, and I think oh yeah, and especially 5e, there's just so many good things. I'm a big fan of druids. Really big fan of druids. I think that was one of my longest running characters was a druid.
What kind of druid?
Moon. Knowing how much of a fan Lord of the Rings George is, because I'm definitely not. Fuck that thing. They're curious if you watched The Rings of Power, and what were your thoughts?
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't like it. I didn't like it that much. I found it pretty boring. But my biggest gripe with that show is the cast was not charismatic enough to play those roles.
Crazy.
For me. So I think the problem. Okay, so for example, I think Ian McKellen is so great as Gandalf, even if his lines are so like, wizardy, grandiose dialogue, but he pulls it off because he's a Shakespearean actor.
Yes.
Right? He has that presence of like, you know what I mean? Like he can speak old English essentially. Yeah. So when he does Gandalf, he comes off as that grand character. But with Rings of Power, I feel like the cast are too inexperienced to pull off those lines.
Oh, it makes me so sad.
It's beautiful. It's visually beautiful, but it gives me the feeling of like a college theater group trying to do Macbeth. You're just not good enough to pull off those lines.
Interesting.
That's why I didn't like it, and I got pretty bored.
Yeah, I still haven't watched it. I think I started it. It was like 4 a.m, and then I fell asleep, so I had to start it.
Okay. Yeah.
An interesting thing I learned recently about Rings of Power is that the Tolkien estate didn't actually give them access to all of the things that they wanted when telling that story, and I feel like that's part
of the problem, probably. Yeah.
Anyway, next question.
Okay, next one.
What has been the biggest hurdle so far in your journey? Besides those damn copyright bots.
I mean, that is really... Okay, so besides that... Ooh, biggest difficulty. Probably censorship.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's been some complaints. Every video, there's some like, oh, I can't believe you blurred this out. You have to beep that out. But like...
Yeah.
It's just what YouTube allows us to keep. They either block it entirely or they mark it as 18 plus and actually drastically crashes the view count of a video. A lot of people can't see it.
It's really fascinating, actually.
Yeah. So it's not really us that are like, I don't want to hear the F word. I don't give a shit. You can actually hear how often Simone swears if you watch like the Patreon version. But I have to bleep those because YouTube doesn't like it. It's just an automated system. That's really it. And they have to make it commercial friendly, I guess, for all the ads that play. So that's it. Really just comes down to that.
With the channel growing, did you ever get recognized on the street by a stranger?
I have. Have you?
Recently, yes, I have.
Oh, how did that go? Tell me. You didn't tell me this when it happened.
I was at this little bakery getting a couple of croissants. And I think this is like me being a total asshole. Like I think I was recognized. No words were said, but I got like a double take and a funny smile from this one baker across the counter.
Yeah, I've had it happen a few times. Probably because I'm just easily spotted from a distance. I'm pretty weird looking. But like I've had a few people walk up to me and say hi. Ooh. Just say some nice things. That's really sweet.
That's nice.
There is one time, and if you're watching this video, I apologize. But that day, I was walking down the street. Somebody down the street looked at me. I think they were looking at me, and they smiled and nodded.
And he just ran away. He really had to poop. It was an emergency.
No. I didn't respond to the nod and the smile because I thought he was doing that to someone behind me. And I didn't want to have that awkward moment of like waving it back at somebody who's looking at someone behind me. And I just kind of ignored him. And then later in the comments, someone wrote, I just saw you earlier that day. So I'm so sorry that I ignored you. I really thought you were looking at someone behind me.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh my gosh. Okay. What's a movie or a TV show that everyone hates but you secretly like? Ooh.
Big Bang Theory.
I mean, you don't like that, and I like it, but...
I am everybody, though.
You bitch.
The whole world is actually just me in masks.
Huh. That's... Whew.
It's not Avril Lavigne, it's me. Okay.
What? Like, I've watched all of the seasons of Love is Blind, and that's some pretty garbage television.
Hard Ticket to Hawaii, which we did on Cinecringe. It's technically categorized as a bad movie, but I really liked it. So.
You really liked it?
Yeah, it's like one of those cheesy sexploitation 80s action movie.
Oh.
How much time do you both have to put into the channel every week to make, edit, plan, comment, and promote, and etc.?
Okay. Well,
We film 3 days a week.
yeah.
And it's basically 9 a.m. Simone time to what, like 3 p.m. your time, 4 p.m. your time? Or like noon my time to like 7 in the evening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's filming.
Yeah. Editing, I want to say however long the movie is, plus 50% is the editing time. Roughly. And then I have to like leave it up on YouTube, but like unlisted so no one can see it, and just kind of let it bake, so to speak.
Yeah.
To make sure it doesn't get copyright claim, because sometimes it takes like days for that to happen. And if it does, then I get to go back, make some cuts, and then try again. That's why whenever you guys see something, we watched it like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But it takes that much time for YouTube to bake it.
Yeah.
Planning. There is no planning.
Well, that's not true. We have meetings. They're like anywhere
fair,
between
yeah, we
like
do.
30 minutes to an hour. I mean, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's a quick like, okay, we know exactly what we're already doing.
Yeah.
Like perfect. But we plan out Patreon polls and what we're gonna watch, like our schedule. Our schedule is on this beautiful Excel spreadsheet that's color coded. Okay, George, do you have any tips on learning a second language? I know English is your second language, but if I didn't know any better, I'd swear you were a native speaker, especially considering you have a better vocabulary than me. What do you think are the best techniques for grasping and memorizing an entire language?
A lot of questions for me. Okay.
You're popular. People like you.
It's the first time ever. Tips for learning second language. I mean, immersion obviously is the first thing you gotta like. When I was in high school, I actually purposely avoided being around people who spoke my native tongue because I wanted to like quickly get there. So I try to spend a lot of time with people who only speak English. It was a disaster for a long time. I said a lot of things that I probably shouldn't have said. I didn't know what it meant.
Okay.
But also, I actually, so here's the thing. I watched a lot of stand-up comedians.
Ooh.
Just on repeat because they're speaking casually and they're using more common day language with occasional injections of like something that's more rich. Like George Carlin would do that a lot for like, you know, very wordy monologues. But like Louis C.K. is very casual. Bill Burr is very casual. Louis Black is very casual. Like I try to stick with a lot of comedians, and I learned how to do their accent essentially. That's why I probably don't sound super Canadian. And the last part is video games. I spent a lot of times planning guild raids and WoW, and I had to really learn how to type that shit.
You have your priorities straight, basically.
That's pretty much it. But like the language itself, it's not really about memorization. It's just about how often you use it. And you kind of know when you realize one day you're thinking in that language.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Or dream in that language. And then suddenly you've taken on that language as your primary one.
Whew. Wow.
What's the closest you have come to losing it at George for asking a logic question during an intensely emotional scene?
I love that my question is still about you. You know what? George is a wild animal and no one can tame him. I'm not going to try.
That's not the question.
Oh, I mean,
what's the closest you've come to losing it?
I feel like maybe not close at all. Not close. No, you do you, man. Oh, except for there was that one time. I'm just kidding. There's no anger here.
In my defense, honestly, okay, so this is actually going back to an earlier question of like most common comments.
Okay.
Of people saying, just watch the movie. We have to verbalize our thoughts. That's the point of the reaction. Otherwise, we're just sitting there silently, which is what you would do in real life. But we have to verbalize it so you know what's going on in our heads. For me, if I'm enjoying a movie, I have questions. That means I'm engaged. That means I'm like thinking about it.
Yeah.
If I'm silent, that usually means I'm just kind of letting it happen. If my eyes are closed, I'm bored. But the other thing is, I always have this thought of like, if a movie made me question one of its logics, then the flaw of that script pull me out of the immersion,
That's interesting.
right?
Yeah.
If I'm immersed, I wouldn't even think about the flaw. I wouldn't even think about the logic loophole.
Oh, that's so funny. I think you and I are exact opposites because whenever if ever I watch a movie that's really, really good,
Mm-hmm.
I will only focus on what they could have done better. Like, if it's a movie I'm not really enjoying, like I'll probably like I won't even like I don't care enough to ask the questions.
Mm-hmm.
But like for a movie that's like I'm trying to think of an example, but my brain is blah. So, but I find myself like on movies that I really, really love, I'm even harder on like yeah. Okay. If you were given an unlimited budget to make an adaptation of any source material you want,
Oh.
what would you pick and what casting would you choose? Holy shitballs.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, let me
You're just so stoned right now.
I may have overdone it. Okay, I don't have a casting in mind. Oh, I do, but I'm a little too stoned to answer that question. But the unlimited budget, what I would do for a adaptation, absolutely Sanderson's work. I want to do Stormlight Archives. I want to do Mistborn. I want to do Skyward. I want to do whatever this fourth secret novel that he wrote during the pandemic. Stormlight is probably the top of the priority.
An adaptation of any source material. Ooh, people are going to give me hate for this, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But because there was an adaptation for this.
Okay.
But they didn't quite hit the right notes. I still
Mushroom
watched all of it and
Kingdom.
loved it.
Here we come. Oh, okay. What was it?
It's the Terry Goodkind Sword of Truth series.
I have no idea.
Oh shit, you should read it. It's good.
Okay.
The first book is called Wizard's First Rule.
Okay.
And the first rule is that people are stupid.
Okay.
It's so good. It's so good. It didn't have the budget. I think it was the heart was there, but it didn't have the budget or the tone quite nailed.
I know there are reactions that are lost due to copyright claims. Is there any plan to try to re-upload the lost video or somehow make them available to the patrons?
Oh man, I would love to. I feel like I can answer this correctly, but like I think we wish so badly that we could, but it was when we were still learning how to do the channel, and there's some shit that's actually just gone, and it's heartbreaking, and I wish so badly that we like, oh, alrighty, George, what is the most surprising thing about Western culture? Anything we do that we think is normal, but you think is strange?
Western culture. Okay, I'm gonna assume you mean like European and North American. Western culture that is strange to me. Yeah, the fact that you guys eat this like moldy product that came out of the teat of another species. No, I love cheese. I'm kidding.
Yeah, you were just talking about Swiss earlier on your special sandwich.
Most surprising thing. Yes, actually, the inability for you guys to talk about how much money you make, even between coworkers. I don't get that, because the only benefit that gives is the owner of the place that you work for. You should know how much each other makes.
Yeah, but you know what it is? They're afraid that if like person number one tells person number two how much they make, and person number two makes less, and then person number two finds out and goes to the boss, they'll end up being like, oh yeah, you're right, you should both be making this, and it's the lesser amount.
But
like,
that's
that's
the
like
thing.
the fear, obviously. But
exactly, yeah. But the thing that should happen is that the person that's making less for the same job should go to the boss and be like, I do the same thing. Why am I being underpaid?
100%. Yeah, that's super messed up. What movies, if any, have you two had the most opposite opinion on?
Emily.
It's Amelie.
Amelie.
Yeah, for some reason, we go into this in much more detail in our special 365 Days of Cinebinge.
Now that you've seen a bunch of older movies, what's a filmmaking choice or style that used to be common but isn't anymore that you really like to see make a comeback? Oh, good question.
Interesting. Here's okay. So,
Mm-hmm.
remember when we watched Jaws, and we were like, everyone's talking all at the same time. And I think that's just maybe Spielberg, so it's not necessarily movies of that time. But I loved that. I think it's real, and you know who has brought it back is Greta Gerwig. I've seen videos of like Saoirse Ronan and Florence Pugh talking about how the script was written. Like Greta Gerwig's script of Little Women is like they're actually the way the script is written is it's scripted that characters talk over the other person.
Longer takes before you cut.
Mm.
I love how Godfather 2 just let things rest. Just let it play out. Just let Sonny walk from the dining table to the background to answer the phone and then walk back.
Awesome.
Just let it play out. Stop cutting every 1.5 second like in freaking modern action movies.
I don't know what movie he's talking about, but Matt Damon, there's an interview with Matt Damon where he's talking about a movie that Jack Nicholson was in.
Okay.
And everyone, after they finish watching this entire video to the end, every second, go look for this clip. And it's like, it's Matt Damon doing an impression of Jack Nicholson. And he's like, it's really quite good. And he's like, yeah, but if you kept the camera rolling, like this would happen. And like once you get there, but if you kept the camera rolling, and he just goes on, and it's so enjoyable. And that's kind of like the same thing. It's like for people who like have really created these amazing characters, let them.
Yeah, and also stop cutting so much. Just let it play. Yeah.
You're so mad.
Did you watch reaction content before making your own channel? If so, what channel's reaction are your favorites to look out for?
I mean, I feel like okay, so I didn't really get into reaction stuff until I did it, like until we did it. But I remember, and this is in our 50K Q&A of like you're like, check out this Lord of the Rings reaction, and
from
it was
Natalie Gold.
From Natalie Gold. And yeah, I think that was like the very first reaction that I ever saw was Natalie Gold reacting to Lord of the Rings, which was awesome.
Yeah, I guess we both like Lord of the Rings, and she said we're hobbits of the Canadians, so that's why I was like, you should watch this. I always remember that. I have two that I watched prior to this. Office Blokes for one. If you know, you know. It's just I just like those guys. The other one is just like the general series of like professionals of whatever field. Reviewing stuff like medics, reviewing medic scenes, martial artists, watching. Like I just like that shit because it's kind of like I want the insights of it. I'm curious.
Totally, yeah. You want to see how like real it is.
What's the next one? Okay, what would you both consider your top 3 TV series of all time?
Ooh.
Oh, that's easy for me.
Yeah, go on.
If you watch our videos, you'll know. Simpsons, Futurama, and Scrubs. That's it.
Wow, really?
Oh, actually, no. Simpsons, Futurama, and Three Kingdoms. But that's a Chinese TV show.
Okay. Downton Abbey is a good one.
Okay.
That's a good. This Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Okay.
Yep. And Rick and Morty.
Okay.
Yeah. I enjoy those. Okay, final question of our celebratory having drinks and answering questions because we did it. We got to 100,000 subscribers. The final question is, George.
Uh-huh.
How dare you?